Okay, hi gang. 7 o'clock, Sunday again. Back on again. This one we're working on. Have you ever been bullied? So bullying. I've got same again. I've got my wee list here, and bullying is horrible. Bullying is horrible. I think maybe virtually everybody's went through bullying some way or another. And what we're trying to do today really is what we're trying to do today really is we're talking about bullying, not just at school and things like that with kids. Because when you hear bullying, the first thing you think is children, things like that, young ones and stuff. But bullying's everywhere. Bullying in the workplace, bullying with families, bullying with friends, in the sports arena, people that's doing better than somebody else, and an element of bullying goes on there. Bullying's everywhere. Bullying is absolutely everywhere. So as I say, same again, I've got a wee list here we're going to go through today for there. And anybody that's want to be coming in on the comments and want to maybe discuss something, then we can certainly talk about that. If you want to share an experience with yourself being bullied, I'll share my experiences when I was younger, definitely. But as I say, it comes in many forms. And I've actually joined quite a few bullying sites, and I've been on looking at them, and there's some amazing stories. Seriously, it's horrible. It's nasty. It's absolutely nasty. I think one of the worst ones really is, and we'll come to that down the line a wee bit, is the cyber bullying. With text messaging and things like that. That's nasty. Seriously nasty. I don't like that one at all. Never had that when I was younger because there was no internet and stuff like that. There was none of that. But bullying. Aye. So, as I say, I've got a wee list here that I'm going to be same again, because if people say to me, go and ask that, go and ask that, go and ask that, go and ask that. So bullying happens at all ages. All ages. Doesn't matter what age you're, young, middle age, whatever, this, that, blah, blah, blah. Happens to us all for there. So, as I say here, school, cyberbullying, workplace, sports, things like that for there. And I'll start it off with myself a wee bit, as when I was younger, when I stayed in Glasgow, I used to get bullied, and I'll tell you, it was nasty. It was nasty. Now, number one, by the way, this is a wee disclaimer. We're not here to fix people's problems, anything that I do here. We're just sort of raising awareness on it. People can come in and tell a story, and we'll glad to do it. The only thing is we don't mention names and things like that. That'll be took off. We don't want that. But I don't mind you coming on and telling a story and saying, this happened to me, this happened to me, this happened to me, and things like that. I've not got a problem with that at all. You can come on and tell that. But my story, really, when I was younger, bullying wasn't really 100% recognised when I was younger. I'm 54 now, you know what I mean? So came back to when I was about maybe 7, 8, 9, stuff like that. It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible, and I hated it. And it was only one person, by the way. It was only one person that bullied me, and they made my life a misery. But what was really difficult about it was what was difficult about it was the my family, like my mom and dad, and all that, it wasn't really recognised. They thought I just didn't want to go to school. No, I didn't want to go to school. I hated school, right? But I was genuinely being bullied, and I was scared. And I mean, I was really, really, really scared. Now, as I say, we're on here for an hour, and I'll come back and repeat this because people come in, people leave, people come in, and people leave. But I was scared. I would wake up in the morning and I was all gone. I mean, at that age, by the way, right? At that age, you shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't be acting like that. You should not feel that at all. But I was feeling it. And what I used to do was I would walk up to the school, and that walk, it wasn't that far away, right, from where I stayed in Glasgow, right? But that walk felt like 10 mile away. I'd be walking up, and I'll remember, and I'd be standing outside the window at the boat mate, and I'd be listening out for the register, and I would listen out for a certain person's name being called. And if I heard that person's name, say like, John Smith, and if I heard yes, miss, or yes, sir, then boom, I was away the rest of the day dogging school, because I wouldn't go in because I was getting bullied. And that just is an absolute, it was murder. It was absolutely murder. So, and then I would spend the rest of the day, and, like, where do I go? What do I do for 8 hours? How do I feed myself and things like that? So bullying's horrible. Bullying's horrible. And as I say, I had that for a long time, and and I was too scared to do anything about it. Now, some folk I've been talking to when it comes to this thing with bullying are saying to me, you don't think maybe that some things that you believe in, maybe promoting violence? I would never promote violence, even though I train people in boxing and Thai boxing and things like that. I wouldn't promote violence, but I don't want to see anybody in pain. Nobody wants to be in pain. And it's not just the person that's being bullied that's in pain, it's the parents and all that as well, when they see their child or whatever being bullied, or somebody that's older, maybe seeing their boyfriend or their girlfriend that's being bullied, and they can't do anything about it. You know, they're too scared to do anything about it. I was too scared to do anything about it. And I always remember that. I was just really, really, really scared. I didn't want to do nothing. So, but you know, it was weird. I always remember this one time when this guy was bullying me. And I remember my brother, and he knew about it a wee bit. So went up to the school the next day, and then what happened was the person was bullying me, right? Now this is the first time I saw this, and I remember seeing this. And then my brother's like, right, go and get to him. How you doing, Tommy boy? How you doing, my man? And he's like, just get to him. So I remember I kicked this guy or something. The guy fell down, but I don't think I never kicked him down, right? I was only young. But what I noticed was the person that was bullying me was scared. They were scared. See, bullies are people that's been bullied themselves, by the way. But what happened was I could have ended it that day. I could have ended it, but I didn't, because I remember the next day I came in and the guy came up to me, right? And now, before anything was said, I turned around and says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't mean that, this and that." Boom. What happened was straight away the guy came back in and they had me bullied again. But then he added to it by saying, if you tell your brother or this or that, blah, blah, blah. I can always remember that. It's clear as day. So bullies are people that's been bullied themselves. And, you know, some people will say, you know, like, as I said earlier there, you know, we're not promoting violence. We're definitely not. How you doing, Maureen Ross? We're no, Maureen Ross is from Holistic Healing Hands, everybody, by the way. Just if you want any details on that, please give me a wee message and I'll forward the information. As I say, bullying, as I say, comes in all forms, from schools to the workplace, you know, cyberbullying and different things like that in there. And it's rife, it's massively rife. And I was scared. And I was only young. I'm laughing about it now, by the way. I'm laughing about it now, but I was only young, you know. But as I say, people have given me wee stuff here, so we're writing down. How do we combat bullying? Bullies are quite sleek. They're quite sleek in what they do. They're very, very sleek. They'll be like, they know that they're going to get tailed off or this or that, or blah, blah, blah. So they'll install more fear in you, right? Now, I'm not going to get into the science of bullying here. I'm not going to get into all the counselling, hypnotherapy stuff and hit people with science, because a form of bad communication is hitting people with big names, by the way. They don't understand what it means. It's a form of bad communication. Just going to be layman's terms we hear, and that's it. So, so the bullying side yet. So how do we combat bullying? As I say, it's difficult to combat bullying because when people are know when somebody's coming close to sort that situation out. Now, I'm hoping some folk can come on here and relate to it. If you don't, it's no problem at all. If you want to send me a private mail on it, then that would be great. That would be brilliant. But they become very, very sleek in what they do, because the person that was bullying me was very, very sleek because round about my family, this person was dead nice towards me, you know, but I was too scared to say anything. I was just far too scared. But this person was dead nice. And so obviously my family's thinking, oh, this guy's bang on for him. He's all right and this and that. But I was miserable. I was absolutely miserable. And I used to be jealous of people that would say, I used to bully the bullies, by the way. I was jealous. I was jealous of the people. You know, so, and you know, I'm going to say something here, and if you want to come on and talk about it, you can. Do you know something? See, especially with young ones, it just takes one punch or one slap, whether you win, lose, or draw. That's all it takes, by the way. And at the end of the day, they'll not come back. They will not come back. I'm telling you right now, they'll not come back. Now, like I said at the start there, we're not advocating violence on here and stuff like that. We're not doing that. We just don't want to see any young ones in pain, or even older ones. Because see, once you attack that bully, believe me, they'll not come near you. So combating bullying is difficult. It's very, very difficult. As I say, they become very, very sleek about it. And as I say, going back a bit again there, you know, when somebody says to me, you know, talk about the cyberbullying when it comes to text messaging. Remember, people know, even your young ones now, they're very smart with hiding text messages and Messenger and things like that. They're all clued up now. It's all clued up. You know, something coming through. or they'll slag the guy, they'll slag the lassie, or or you've been sleeping with this one and that one, blah blah blah. Because I've heard all these stories. I've heard all these stories 100 times, and it's nasty. And instead of just really, this is one, right? And it is, I know it's difficult. But instead of just sitting back there, right, and going like that, you're talking rubbish, yeah, blah blah blah. But when you're young, you don't think like that. You don't, like you're an adult, you can think a lot better with it, right? As I say, we're not going to get into science and how the mind works and all that. We're not going to do that. But when you're young, you don't think like that at all. You do not think like that, and it's you become scared and you fear, and that's what happens. But I can tell you right now, see if you pluck up the courage to just get into the school or whatever this and that. As I say, I'm watching what I'm saying here, but it just takes you to retaliate. And that's probably the best way for me to word it. For you to retaliate back to the bully, win, lose or draw, they'll leave you alone. I can tell you right now, they will leave you alone. And I had a client in a while ago, we'll just say a while ago, and the client agreed with us 110%, and their boy went to the school, put one on the guy's chin, and the boy that put the one on the guy's chin, the boy was being bullied, actually got suspended. Came back up the road and says to his mom and dad, listen, this and that, and the mom and dad says, do you know something? Don't bother about it. What you have for about a week or something, this and that, no problem. That was the end of the bullying. Because I'm not a parent, right? But it must be murder when your boy or your lassie's coming home from school and they're miserable. They're no eating, they're no sleeping, their appearance is gone, their grades is going down and everything. Because honestly, and as I say, this is one that I've got on the list here now. It says, do schools do enough to stomp out bullying? For what I hear is no, they don't. No, but that's not bringing any teachers or stuff like that down, by the way. It's what it is I think they've got a hard job. Now, remember, they've got a curriculum to go by. They can't just say, go and do this and go and do that, no problem. They can't do that. I can sit here and virtually say what I want, but they can't do that because they're bound by rules by the school and this and that. So at the end of the day, their hands are tied. Now, I remember, and I'm not slating this, right? I disagree with it, but I'm not slating it, right? If that makes sense. And I was talking to somebody once about anti-bullying, this and that. And you know what they taught them? If somebody was bullying somebody, the person had to go, no. That's what they did to bully. Good luck with that one, by the way. Good luck with that one. Some of the folk they just chopped your horn off. But anyway, I don't think that's going to work. Sometimes you have to just match. You have to You have to just mirror the image. You just have to mirror the image, and just show them who you are. Win, lose or draw. I'll tell you right now. I hope there is some young ones watching this. As I say, I'm not advocating and putting out violence here, but stand up for yourself. And I think that's the only way, because sometimes try to talk to certain bullies, sometimes try to talk to them just won't work. It just won't work. They only know one thing, and that's just nasty thoughts. So maybe it just takes you to rush them. As I say, repeating myself, I'll be doing this for the way through. Win, lose or draw. At the end of the day, you can. I personally believe you will solve the problem. You definitely will solve the problem. But as I say, combating bullying is very tough because people are very, very, very sleek about it. For there, okay. Now, this is one that was doing. I just spoke about it the now there, is fighting back the answer. Does anybody want to come in this one here? It would be ideal if somebody could come in this, and have a wee chat with this one. Is fighting back the answer. Should you raise your hands? Should you be violent? Should you act the way they act and things like that? But then could you justify it? Could you turn around and say, but the reason I'm doing it is to stop all this happening. I am not a violent person. I am not a bully. And I am not that. I just want to retaliate to stop all this. And I believe if I do this, it will stop. But as I say, and I remember a situation, oh God, I'm going back years and years and years and years ago. So it was a long, 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 long time. And I remember this parent, we'll just say the parent brought the two kids into the class, right? Boy and lassie. 10 minutes in, I seen the parent waving me out, right? And I was like, if it's all right, listen, could you just tell so-and-so, just, but we're getting home now. And I says, well, you've still got about an hour to go. I go, the class is for an hour. The parent turned around and said, this is too violent. And I said, okay, can I just talk to you for 2 minutes? I said, the streets are violent. I said, that's why you brought him here in the first place. I take it. because things are upside down. And especially these days, there's young boys out there now that'll think nothing, they just chinning a lassie, no problem, by the way. No problem about it at all. And she says, no, just listen, I would rather just take them out. And no problem, that was a long, long time ago for there, I was a bit disappointed because we're no into teach people. It's a good saying I've heard, you learn to fight so you don't need to fight, because you're becoming disciplined that you know what to do and get away from the situation. You're no daft, you know what I mean? But as I say, when you're younger, you don't 100% think like that at all. You don't, you really don't. So let's go back on this one again here. And do schools do enough to stop bullying? Now, let me go back to the time when I went back to my school years ago. I went back to my school and I was talking to the head teacher. He remembers me well. And I was trying to put flyers out for the Thai boxing. And so what happened was I was talking to one of the secretaries, and the secretary says to me, oh, you need to see the headmaster. I went, oh, I remember him, And so my wee bag full of flyers. And he says, oh, how you doing, Stephen? And you come, this and that. And he was so nice. He was so nice. And I was sitting down with him, what you doing now? And I was telling him about the gym and this and that. I goes, what it was, I just want to put some flyers out, And he says, oh, no. He says, that promotes violence. And he says, and that when you work in here. And I says, well, there's a lot of bullying in here, sir. Still called him sir, by the way, even though I left school. I said, there's a lot of bullying. There's a lot of bullying. And he says, oh, no. He said, there's no bullying. There's no bullying in this school. And I said, sir, I says, I believe I can say what I want now. I goes, but you're sitting in this office all day. I said, you don't see what happens out there. I goes, I was bullied like, early years in the school. You know what I mean? I said, so I can tell you right now, the bullying definitely happens. I was escorted to the front gate. The janitor came in and I was escorted to the front gate with my bag and no flyers where to go. So he went from being very, very nice to bolt your rocket, So, and that was it. So I couldn't get back in to put a flyer out. But I was flying about that one because I knew a lot of young boys and lassies in the school, and they put them up on the wee notice boards for there. So as I say, it takes it back. The schools do enough. I think their hands are tied. And they just can't do a lot about it. I really, truly, truly believe that bullying is something you just have to take into your own hands. I better watch what I'm saying here, by the way, in case lawyers come on here. Just meaning, I'm not saying in there and go mental with somebody physically. What I'm saying is just stand up for yourself, and you're just not taking it for there. Oh, so there we go. Here we go. There's wee Tiffany there. Hello, Uncle Stevie from Tiffany, from Janet. Thank you for the meal, by the way. It was absolutely excellent. It was brilliant. Wee Tiffany and Theo there. Good to have you on board. But as I say, so the skills are their hands are tied, and they have to watch what they say. Right, Jacqueline Morrison. Evening, how you doing? So we're just skimming the thing to do with bullying here. We're going to go back to the start anyway, because folk are in and out. We're on for about an hour anyway. So regarding the bullying situation, if as I say, anybody's got any views on the bullying, please feel free to write what you want. You can share a story if you want to come in and have a wee talk with me. Then we can bring you on board, no problem. But we will ask us, don't mention names. We don't mention names for there, because the other person's not there to back themselves up. And I don't think that's fair in these podcasts for there. So schools hands are tied. They're definitely hands are tied for there. So what we're talking about, just seeing you coming in there, Jacqueline, is bullying at school, cyberbullying, the workplace, the sports arena, this or that. Bullying happens anywhere. It can be young age to older age. It can hit us all. Definitely. So somebody says to me, what goes through your head when you're getting bullied? And that was what a question somebody asked me, and says, what's going through your head when you're getting bullied? Fear. I was scared. This person's going to do me in. Do you know what I mean? I was only young, man. And fear. And I reckon that's why. And bullies thrive on that. They thrive on that. Remember, you always hear me talk about, energy, frequency, and vibration. They might not know that quote, but they know that in here. And this is what makes them. It's like Cus D'Amato had said about Mike Tyson when he talked about the hero and the coward when they walk into a boxing ring. Now, this is all relevant here, right? And what happens is sorry, 2 seconds here. When both fighters walk into the ring, the two of them feel scared, right? But what makes a hero and what makes a coward? The hero can go forward and do what he does, and the coward ends up running away, which makes him a coward. But, but the both of them feel the same. Moral of the story is, when a bully's digging you up, believe me, they're feeling it as well. But it's yourself that's actually just deciding, oh, no, I can't handle this. Maybe that's not your environment. You've not been brought up like that. Or this person's got a rep for doing this and a rep for doing that. And you hear, young boys and lasses, stabbings and knives and different stuff. You know what I mean? So it's definitely. Right, so we've got Janet here, and Janet's saying, just wondering, if a wee girl hits your wee boy every day at school, what do you do? Let him hit back? Tell him boys can't hit girls. Right, let's jump on that. Now, that's quite difficult, isn't it? Because you're preaching and saying, right, you don't hit girls, this and that, blah, 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 right? But you've got to think, don't be treated like a bam. If everybody wants to talk equality these days, you know what I mean, stuff like that, blah, 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 then if somebody's going to hit you, then you know what, you're going to have to do something back, because I don't think words are strong enough. You know what I mean? I really don't think they're strong enough. I think you're going to have to do something back if you're just really being threatened there. So I've got Jacqueline on here. At times I mind the days if you got hit. Your man and dad would say, you better get out. No, better. Jacqueline, your texts are terrible. Hit back. Not proud. I did not need to tell. They brought up with my uncles, which were like my brothers, right? So I understand that one for there, because I've heard that so many people saying, if you don't get there and hit them, I'm going to hit you when you come in here. Who would you ever get hit with? So let's go back to that one. For here. Where are we here? We're again here. So you're back to that one where, if a wee girl hits your wee boy, remember, we live in a day and age where people are judged 7 days a week. I remember a mate saying to me, thank God it's a God that's judging, the people, because the people would have you hung, drawn and quartered. That's fact. How do you stop that situation? How do you stop it? If they're going to hit you, they're going to continually go for it, because they see the weakness. They see the weakness in you for there. So, Tommy Hans, never been bullied. I've had friends that have been, and the bully got dealt with. End of the day, that's the only way to deal with a bully. Do you know? Aye, but as I say, we live in an age now where people are saying, you've got to do this, and this is the way, this and that. Probably these people that are getting all these rules and regulations out have never been in a scrap in their life, by the way. Never been a scrap in their life. Simple. Like I told you earlier on when they turned down and said, no, that's definitely not going to happen. All right, Stephen Todd, how you doing, my man? You want to get in here in the conversation, Stephen? Talk about bullying here. Whether you were a bully or you were bullying others. So, Jacqueline Morrison says, do two wrongs, make a right, though. Okay. So, Jacqueline, do you have kids? I don't know if you get kids or not, right? And your wee boy or wee lassie comes home every day and saying, so-and-so's hit me, so-and-so's hit me, so-and-so's hit me, so-and-so's hit me. Can you tell me your answer on that, please? That would be amazing. What do you do? There's your Marilyn Adams. Listen, we would like to congratulate Marilyn Adams on her new home, by the way. She's got the keys to a new pad, and it's brilliant having your own pad, by the way. You can't beat it. So, let's hide that one there. Bringing Marilyn back in here again. I was bullied in my previous workplace. Okay, right. Bullying in the workplace. I've saw it. I've never been bullied in the workplace, but I've saw it happening. Horrible, man. Horrible, nasty. Absolutely. And you think to yourself, there's a grown man and a grown woman, right? I need to scratch my ear. Hold on a minute. Sorry. And you see, there's a grown man and or a grown woman, and they're sitting taking that. Remember, it all goes back to the wee thing I told you there about the fight or flight, the hero in the cupboard, this and that. Who takes that step? To go forward? Anytime I've had any clients in here and that subject's cropped up, I'm not going to say on camera here what I've been telling them today, but I can tell you right now, 10 out of 10, by the way, I've come out the other end a lot better. Right, so what we got here? We've got Jacqueline again. I would like to think now when older I would try and deal with it. But going back when they were Waynes, I would say hit back. Right. Now, boom. you're putting out all these things with the morals and teaching your kids this and teaching your kids. You don't want your kids to be violent and stuff. Now, I knew this was going to happen, and you were going to sort of maybe near stick at kids. I knew this was going to happen, right? So it's okay. Let's jump on it. Remember, kids are the foundation, right? Okay, the foundation. Remember, you're learning everything's, everything. You're getting up with this and getting up with that. When you're born three, and then everything's just all hitting you, right? Some folk might go, what's this guy talking about? Believe me, I don't bother with uni stuff. I know I was at uni, but I don't bother with it. It's my life experience. You don't want your kid, Jacqueline, you don't want your kid coming home with bad grades, no eating, no playing with his pals, this and that, this and that, this and that. You worrying all night. They're no sleeping. You're walking by the room and you can hear them crying. I've had clients in here tell me things like that. And you also read about things, by the way, where people have other things have happened, which I didn't want to mention, but you've got a good idea. And you go, wow, man, wow. They're only kids. And they should be playing with dolls and Action Man and this and that or whatever, and having good fun and good time and building up good relations with pals, rather than sitting there waiting. And some idiot, by the way, who makes their life an absolute misery. We've got Charlene McGuinness. How you doing, Charlene? Charlene always gives me good support. Was bullied in my last workplace. Couldn't be happier now, though. I tolerated it because I needed to make a living from my family, which was sad. No, see, that's it, isn't it? People take it. People take it. It's a heavy subject, isn't it? I will come back on this later on again, by the way, with different stuff down the line, because you could do umpteen parts on bullying. But I tell you, when you're in a workplace, right, you're making, say, 300 quid a week, £300 a week. You need that. You need that for messages, your mortgage, and your electricity and gas. And there's so-and-so at the workplace giving you jip. How do you stand up and walk away, man? You can't stand up and walk away because you need that job. But how do you sort it out when there's no cameras? How do you sort it out when there's no witnesses? And you're big enough and ugly enough to know the score with that one. So, Charlene again here. Having kids in this day and age is terrifying. I don't have any kids, right? But young ones and all come to my gym. This is a family affair in here, right? When they come into here. As I said there earlier on, Charlene and Jacqueline, these are just in this one, is cyberbullying. Wow, man, cyberbullying. Oh my God, who was that text for? You've no idea. You've got no idea who it was for. Absolutely no idea. Sorry, just getting me messages in here now as well, which is quite good. Who is it? Calling this one a cow or this one a slut, or calling guys' names, or you're this, or you've slept with this and you slept with that. Horrible. See if they can just get it into their heads and go, one, it didn't happen. Two, that's not who I'm at. Three, they can bolt. I'm not interested. You are on your way. I'm telling you, I'm so positive on this one, right? Because remember, I am not a man of assumption. I'm a man of observation, right? Saying I put out there, right? And I only put it in what I observe. Don't just assume it for there. Remember, I've been bullied myself. I know what it's like. And I know how I've combated certain bully situations, which I'm not going to say on camera. But let me tell you this one. This one's a cracker. I remember I was in the gym teaching. This guy walks through the door. Wow. This guy walks through the door. And he's like, oh, how you doing? He goes, oh, how you doing, mate? I've not seen you since school. Blah, 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 right? Anyway, he wanted to do Thai boxing. So puts him on a bag. And I stand away at the fourth corner. And I'm sitting watching this guy and going, oh, my God. This guy made my life a misery. And he couldn't put two punches together, right? And I thought, oh, the times I've sat and been scared of this guy. But here was the end of it. Here was the end of it, which was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. Chatting to the guy at the end. You know what he says to me? Stephen, he says, I'm guessing here, but I don't think I'm that far rank, pal. Probably. If it wasn't for me, you probably wouldn't be doing what you're doing. There's an element of truth there, isn't it? Guy shook my hand, by the way. And we're pals. It's weird, isn't it? I had no hatred, no bitterness. He did say to me, I was only young, mate. I was only kids. I know that. But you still done it. But I know that. I do know that as well. So, remember, Quentin Tarantino, by the way, I go for end, middle. What else have we got on here? Sorry. Right. So, Jacqueline. Right. Sorry. What we got? Right, what's that, Jacqueline? Scheme Kids was brought up playing Streetwise, more gang fights back then. Yep. Used to see a few gang fights, definitely myself. Charlene here, all part of growing up and being a bigger person. You know, as would I go back and change the bullying situation for anything? I wouldn't change it for the world. I would not change it for the world because it's made me who I am today. And I'm so happy that I get pushed into boxing and Thai boxing and all that. By the way, did I do that to protect myself? Actually, no. I done it to I love the sport. I love the sport, you know, and I don't think I'm better than anybody or this or that, or just because I go out and get into the ring and or hit a bag or pads. Not at all, man. Not at all. I just love the discipline here for there. Just love the discipline. So who we got here? We've got Jacqueline. I think bullies have insecure and have problems at home. That's true. Bullies are people that are being bullied. So what they do is they displace everything and boom, they put it on somebody else, and that's what they do, you know. And you ever notice that these bullies can't take care of the people that's above them or these other fighters or whatever? They always prey on the weak. As soon as you stand up, if there's any young ones watching this now, as soon as you stand up, your days of bullying are gone. I'm telling you that right now. Charlene, made you who you are today. Yes, of course. And I wouldn't change it for the world. No. I agree, it's scary. Can't remember what I said there, pal. Sorry on that one. So, as I say, anybody else is wanting to come in and give me more stuff, anybody want to give me a wee story that you can put on my private mail, my messenger, you're welcome to do that. You want to come in, I can give you a wee video link and we can come in and have a wee chat about stuff. As long as we don't mention names, I'll be very, very happy with that. Right, so let's jump on. I've got a few more things to go through here. Right. Actually, let's jump on that before I go into the list. Charlene says, I've seen some scary stuff on social media. Right, let's jump on it. Social media is mental, by the way. Social media is absolutely, I love social media. Absolutely, you name it, I love it. I love coming on. There's actually going to be more stuff this than me doing any writing. So if he's on board with me, you better hit that block button, by the way, because Mairsy's going to be here non-stop. Simple as that, man. So listen, Charlene, right, you're right. So 2 seconds here. So the amount of times I've scrolled through, just been a bit bored, and I'll go through, in Facebook, and then people's arguing, I'll come and kick your door in. Is that right? Do you think I'll no date this and that? See the ones that's going to do it, they don't even reply to you, by the way. They just chap your door and do it. And I've seen that happening, by the way. Believe me. Right, what have we got here for Jacqueline? EastEnders has highlighted bullying at the young lassie's phone ring and they are showing. I've not watched that, but somebody was telling me about something about that. Somebody was saying that. Charlene, you search your area on Snapchat. It's awful being a 14-year-old when life's so bad outdoors. Now, here's one for you a wee bit before I jump onto this list again here. I sometimes hear that more lassies take a heavy duty bullying than guys. Is that true or false? Does anybody want to jump in on this? Does anybody want to jump in on this? So I think lassies take more down than guys, without a doubt. And the verbal talk can be nasty, man. It can be absolutely nasty, definitely. So right. Suicide cases are high duty bullying. That is, it's even source saying that. You know that? It's source saying that a child is in school and they're thinking to themselves, I could do this, I could do that, and that's the end of it. And they've got it all planned out. And they've got access to it now with your computers. And you put in that computer, you can write absolutely anything at all, and it'll give you access to anything. All because one person, I've got no idea. It's parents must be heartbroken with that, man. Heartbroken. Stephen Todd, kids will fight with the adults. Know right from wrong. It's on us to unlearn bad traits out of childhood. So that definitely. Yep. Definitely. But some adults, they know it's wrong, but they don't do anything about it, Stephen. They don't do anything about it. Charlene McGinnis here is 100% the extent girls go to guys, they just fight and it's done, blah, blah, blah. Yep. What else have we got here? Jacqueline, I was glad that a child with no phones or social media. Well, I had the CB. Who the CB? The CB was you had a lot of bullying on the CB. 1 4 for a copy, and that, that was called the Gyro Captain. So that was like my Facebook then, or people my age going back then. That was your Facebook. Still a lot of bullying going on then. Simple as that. You heard that, people ripping down people's CB aerials and all that. That was rife. That was definitely rife. So this is flying in, by the way. It's absolutely flying in. What have we got down here? Right. What's it? Somebody's asked here, what do you get bullied about, and what do the bullies focus on? What do you get bullied about, and what do the bullies focus on? They focus on your weakness, right? I'm going to get off track a bit here, just like the government is doing with everyone else the new, by the way. I'm being a bit political, aren't I? Focusing on your weakness. They see it, they know it, and they can see it, and they'll get what they want, and they'll use you. They'll use you. That's what they focus on. See, if they see somebody that can do a bit, they will never come near. They will never, ever come near them. Simple as that. That's quite an easy one to answer, that one for there. At the end, I'm going to be putting down bullying contacting places for there as well, so if anybody wants to contact bullying stuff, that's no problem. Now, there's one as well, somebody was saying to me as well, parents suffer because they see the pain in their kids' eyes, right? But you could also say as well that even a boyfriend or a girlfriend, 20 odds, 30 odds, 40 odds, 50 odds, where they see their partners getting bullied, that's horrible. That is absolutely horrible when they see their partner getting bullied. But let's go back to kids now. As I say, repeating myself here, when you go back to, their grades are done, their appearances done, they're not doing this, they're not doing that, it's nasty. It's definitely nasty. It's parents, they suffer. I'm not a parent. I've got no idea, but as I say, I've heard a lot of stories. And the kids lying there at night, as I said, they're greeting, they don't want to go to school the next day, and they have to go because it's law, And then what does the school offer? Let's go back a bit again. The school offers, let's sit and talk to somebody at school. I don't know, do they call it HR at school? I don't know what they call it at school. There's that many different names. And they go back to that, and they turn in and they sit down. Remember, you're probably 10 times out of 10 or 9 times out of 10 will just say, right, you're talking to somebody who's never been a scrap in their life, by the way. They don't even understand. They don't even understand. And they just read it page 45 of a book. Simple as that for there. Simple as that for there. So, right. Is taking your child to a combat sport the answer? Right. Do you think taking your child, it seems to be child, so we're just going to stay on this now, right? Hold on now, we've got Charlene back in here. The school don't offer much, to be honest. I knew that. I hear the stories, but I don't really think it's 100% their fault. I don't think, because their hands are tied, man. Their hands are tied, right? So, hold on, we've got Stephen here. If I can find my wee cursor key here. And Stephen says, it's always good people that's bullied. Is that because good people attract people? Aye. I mean, old saying, mate, the nicer you are, the worse you get treated. That's a true saying, isn't it? And then when you start to stand up and you act bad and things like that, are you the bully? See, this is the age we live in now. What's right? What's wrong? You shouldn't be bored what's right and what's wrong. You should be bored about how you feel, how your work is, how your family is, how your appearance is, how your grades are. That's your bubble. That's what you should be focusing on. So, is taking your child to a combat sport the answer? I want parents to come in this, please. Right? I want parents to come in this right now. We've only got about 15 minutes left. It's absolutely flying by here. And I always finish on there. I don't go by an hour. So, Charlene, I'm taking Charlene, you're saying yes to that for there. I'm taking you're saying that. Taking your kids to a combat sport. Now, whether it be boxing, kickboxing, Thai boxing, MMA, karate, whatever. These are all good sports. They're all good sports. And you also get taught discipline. And you get taught confidence and everything. Now we're focusing on kids here. You could do this for the adults, but let's talk about the foundation. Our future is the kids. When they're in amongst all the other kids and they're learning to, do a punch or this or that, and they're learning good things for the coach. When the coach is, like they put somebody they bow to them and this, that, they're learning a discipline. I'm going to 100% say definitely I own that. Tommy Hans here. I think the answer, yeah. Combat sport teaches kids respect and discipline. Of course it does. Right, here's my old mucker here. Brian, how you doing, Brian? If you see it happening, do you tell the bully to stop it or else? Or do you take the bullied person aside and tell them how to deal with it, or both? If you see it happening, do you tell the bully to, well, right, I've saw that situation, Brian, right? Saw it in a ladies' high school. I saw where somebody bullied somebody and the bully got annihilated, mate. Bully got annihilated. Sometimes talking to people just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Simple as that. Jacqueline, yeah, I think these sports, who's that? No, sorry. I think these sports learn discipline and confidence of self-esteem, definitely, because when you're getting bullied, your self-esteem is boom, my way down to there, by the way. Anybody doesn't know what self-esteem is, believe me, go and read it up. It's nasty. It's nasty if you've got low self-esteem. So Charlene says, take the big fish out first. Right, let me tell you a daft story, right, by the way. Number one, I don't claim to be anything, right? I really don't. I was out one night running, right? I was training for a fight years and years ago. I was out running and I was in a right bad mood, right? When I was younger, I was always in a bad mood. And I remember, and I was the underpass in Motherwell, going up to Baird. I think it was Baird at the time. Remember Baird? Do you ever remember Baird? So about 4 or 5 guys, right, was under underpass and I had my earphones on. And I says, oh, I'm going to get gypped here, right? So I remember, boom, I took the earphones off as I'm running through and I heard somebody shout something. I don't know what it was. And I stopped. And with the biggest guy, right? And I says, you bamming me up, mate? You bamming me up? The boy went, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I didn't need to look at the others, by the way. I just looked at him and I thought, I'm going to turn you, put my earphones on, by the way. I'm going to be pure chopped into pieces here. End of the day, I put it on him. And I'm not trying to be big live here, by the way, because I'm not a big person. And anybody who knows me knows I'm not a big person. But I just wasn't having it. And I went to the biggest guy and he wasn't having it either. Right. So what we got here? Right. Aye, that's right. That's right. So I would definitely say combat sports is the way to go. Combat sports, any discipline sport's good. Any discipline sport's good. Seriously, when the kids interact with others and this and that, boom, absolutely brilliant. Believe me, absolutely brilliant. And their confidence is growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing every single day. Every single day. Charlie McGinnis says, do you think kids are aware of mental health? 100% these days. 100%, man. If they can go online and check out suicides and different stuff like that, aye, they better believe it. They better believe it. They're super aware, man. They're super aware. Definitely. Definitely. Charlie said it's a confidence boost. As a confidence boost. Let's go back to that one for there. Do you think kids are aware of mental health? Aye, guarantee it. I guarantee it. So as I'm saying there, definitely combat sports is definitely good. I don't mean combat sports to go and dare a person in. I just mean for confidence in yourself and awareness and dealing with others, and because we grow every single day. Right. Parents suffer because they see the pain in their kids' eyes. That's so true, man. Parents suffer. We said this earlier on. Parents suffer because they see the pain in their kids' eyes. Now, repeating myself again, I don't have any kids, but I would be gutted knowing that my boy or my lassie is in that room breaking their heart and watching the clock for them to get up at 8 in the morning, whatever, to go to school. That would be sore. Oh, even talking about it, and I'm not even a parent, by the way, that would be sore. Definitely. So, what do parents do? What do parents think's the right road? Come on, I've got parents on here. What do you think the right one is? Exactly, Charlene, rips my heart apart. Exactly, Jacqueline, it is soul destroying. God, man. And remember, at the end of the day, they're still just kids. They're not going to pick things up overnight, and if there's a process, in the meantime, they're taking it down after these idiots out there. Simple as that. Right. Examples of bullying in the workplace. So many examples of bullying in the workplace. People that's looking for, like promotion, things like that. People spreading rumors, stuff. That's all bullying. It's all bullying. Everybody, it's all bullying. So let's come up to that a wee bit. Let's jump on to Charlene here a wee bit. 2 seconds. Sorry, buddy. I watched my son crumble. Lost his character. And he was a sports fan and all could do. It would be my That's all you can do. That's all you can do, innit? Because at the end of the day, Charlene, they're the one that's got to stand up for themselves and make that move. They have got to make that move, pal. They've got to make that move. It's as simple as that. They've got to make a move. But so, as I say, everything I'm talking about here, Barry, was I didn't experience, right? So I didn't experience all life experience with me and stories I've heard and things that I've been through myself. But so the workplace bullying can be cruel as well, because you think to yourself, I'm an adult, I shouldn't be taking this. But you're taking it. You're taking it. No problem, you're taking it. And that's what's really, really, really sore, because then it takes it back to, I don't know if it was Charlene or Jacqueline there, they were talking about you've got to be at work and you've got to pay the bills, innit? So you sit there and you take it. How do you combat that one? How do you do it if it's a boss above you? You know what I mean? How do you deal with that? How do you deal with that? And if you want to hear as well, a lot of places, HR just doesn't do it. HR doesn't do it. Charlene, that's the thing outside the workplace it would be different. Of course it would be different. Of course it'd be different. But you're spending 8 to 9 hours a day in that workplace, Charlene. How do you deal with it? How do you deal with it? Simple as that. How do you fix it? And how do you take it to the point where you're not shouting and bawling this and that, where folk are turning on you? I've seen that happen too, where folk have turned on you. Folk will say, oh, he or she's very aggressive, this and that. And I've used this one, and I think I made this up, by the way. I need to copyright it. And I think that people will bring in what's called a blind army, meaning they'll say this and that about him or her, but it's so false, but they've got them blind towards what the real story is. And you get the people that will agree. Yeah, oh, you're joking. Did he say that? Did she say that? That's a disgrace without even any backup. But, that goes into other stories for there. That goes into other stories. We don't want to go off track. But if you're talking about bullying in the workplace, very, very, very difficult. Can you believe, by the way, we were near the end, man? Can you believe it? So, listen, just want to give a wee shout out here to Mr. Turbo Trill here, plastering and rough casting services there. You've got Team Mersey Personal Training, myself, and Sports Massage Therapy, and we're very own Cameron Dale, Skip Hire. Great guy, by the way, great guy to deal with, 100%. So give Cameron a big shout for that, and he'll help you. We've also got Maureen here, holistic healing hands, I think it is, and I don't know what I've done with your logo, missus, but I'll definitely get it back on. Anybody want a wee shout out and a logo thing? Actually, I was supposed to put a logo on. Let me just get into this now here. Somebody sent me this and I forgot all about it, but we'll do it right now. And it's Royal Lux Competitions. What I'll do is I'll put that out there. It's a competition, a big fancy competition where you can win things for pennies. Sorry we never get that up there, by the way, but what we'll do is we'll definitely do it the next time for the Stacey, and I guarantee you that. 100%. Let's go back into the comments here. Here we go. There's my mucker, Geordie McGee. Geordie, hope you're well, by the way. Hope you're well. So what else have we got? Tommy saying the invite to the housewarming is in the post, mate. 100%. I'll bring a couple of Red Bull there. Definitely. They do go in so quick, don't they? I like the chats myself. They get really, really quick. And do you know what, everybody? We're not to slag anybody and slate anybody. We're just bringing up. My mate calls me Fraser Crane, by the way. I'm not on here to fix anybody. I'm just out to raise awareness and things that I date and talk about every single week. 100%. Stacey Ann, I can listen. What we'll do, pal, is we'll definitely get that put in for you the next time, right? But on my defence, I did tell you to text me before I went on, right? So I'm bullying you for that one, by the way. So listen, we'll get a wee plug on that the next time for you there. We'll wait till next week. So I do videos through the week and I'll put a wee something up. No problem, pal. But so listen, that's all we do is we just raise awareness on it. But great to communicate, don't you? So bullying, we could go on forever about bullying. We could go on and on and on. And I'll tell you right now, there's no point in hitting everybody with the science of bullying and what some of these organisations do this and that. Because I can tell you right now, I really truly believe that some of these organisations. In fact, let me jump on this one here now, right? I remember it was Christmas time, and I don't know who it was, and they were packing the forums, the messages in and stuff like that, and can't remember who they were. And I said to the boy, what is it you do? I can see you get bullying on your T-shirt. And he says, oh, we're anti-bullying or something. This and that. I says, all right, how do you deal with that? And he says, well, this, that. And I says to him, you put one in their chin, mate, and that ends a bullying. He says, oh, you can't do that. I goes, you've been bullied, mate. He goes, no. I goes, I'm telling you right now, mate. I said, folk out there, by the way, bullying will just think nothing of raising you. Simple as that, man. We'll razor you. Anything just to make themselves feel better about it and preying on the weak. I said, so see all that talking? Nah, definitely not. Definitely not. Sometimes you just have to take another approach, by the way, because as I say to some young ones, the mom and dads do not want to see you in pain. They just don't want to see you in pain at all. No way. So Charlie McGinnis says, what's next week, Stephen? Well, next week is going to be about sports injuries, like rehab, things like that. So we've got a model in for that one. And what's going to be is somebody will talk about, I seem to be getting this and that and this and that. I'm going to show you moves and how I deal with that and blah, blah, blah. So it's all down to the model coming. And if the model doesn't turn up, then I might be struggling. I might need to put that one back for there. But the one the week after that is going to be, it's called Being Alone. So it depends on that. I might bring that forward for there, Charlene. So, but that's sorry, I've just reading that line there. Sorry. That's what I'm saying is next week is going to be sports therapies, massage, and what's the right thing? What's the difference between that massage to a remedial and different things for there? That's going to be what we talk about. If somebody goes, my neck's giving me a lot of jip, then what would you do? Then what we'll do is the model there, and we'll say, well, this is what I would do. There goes my mic again, man. Sorry, pal. And what we'll do is I'll show you what's what. It's going to be different subjects every week. As I say, anybody that wants a subject that I've not been putting up, I booked up with the subjects up until the end of November, and then what we're doing this December is we're not really doing any subjects. We're waiting to January because I don't want to go crazy on it. And then after that, we'll still be putting different videos up. But that's what's going to be next week. Is we're going to jump on anybody that's got injuries and stuff like that. And I did this and did that. And what do you think? And I will show you and say, if you do this and you do that, and it's going to be stored after it, so you'll be able to see it anyway. And the week after that is Being Alone. What's it like being alone? Do you like being alone? Do you want to be alone? Stuff like that. And I think the week after that is social media. Is social media good or bad? This and that, which I personally think is very, very good. And I always say to the young ones in here, if I had Facebook when I was about 15, 16 years of age, I'd be a multi-millionaire. But listen, everybody, we came to that time, man. And I just want to obviously want to thank everybody 150% for being on. I love doing this. This is my job. I love doing everything about it. I love talking. And I don't script nothing. All I've got doing written here is just what things people ask me to do, and I just jump on that. So it still comes off the top of my head. I love what I do. I appreciate it. Remember, anybody that's want any wee stuff, anybody wants a wee shout out for their business, then I'll definitely put you on board there. Send me your logo. I'll put your logo through, and it doesn't cost you a single penny with me. And we'll give you a wee plug and things for there, because it is starting to grow. Every week it's growing arms and legs even more and more and more. So listen, everybody, I want to thank everybody for coming in. Without you, there is absolutely no me. I just want you to be safe out there. I want you to have a good time. I don't want you to look back. Don't be stressed out. Don't worry about something that can't be fixed. I don't care if it's your mother, father, brother, sister, son, or daughter, auntie, uncle, or cousins. If somebody's giving you jip, you just rub them out your life and you move forward. It's as simple as that. Love you, sorty bits, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.